Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Let's learn computer science. I'm back with another video on file handling in Python. In today's video, we'll discuss about significance of using files in Python. Today's video is going to be a very general one about file handling. It's not going to be the specific one about the different types of files. However, you'll have an understanding what are different types of files which are available in Python and on which you can work, right? However, detailed videos I'll create and will share in my upcoming sessions on text file, binary file, and CSV files, right? Today, you'll also understand general file handling steps or operations, syntax, how to open and close files in Python, what are various file opening modes, that is read, write, append. Also, you'll understand how we can open files using with clause. So there are two different ways using which you'll be able to open files. So we'll understand both those ways today. First of all, let's understand how files are beneficial. What is the significance of using files in Python? So if we look at the real world applications, whenever you deal with real life scenarios, you need to have that provision of storing data, which can later be retrieved, right? So files are very, very important and they play a crucial role in that kind of scenario where data storage and retrieval is required, right? In programming, normally, what you do, you take the data from the console and then you display back the results on the console, that is mostly your monitor. So you take data from the monitor using keyboard and you display it over there as the result, but you do not put it anywhere for future usage. So whenever you need that data to be saved and used later in that scenarios, files play very, very important role, right? For example, saving user preferences, storing log data, managing configuration settings, these kind of data can be stored and retrieved later. Now let's talk about types of files in Python. Majorly, there are two types that we talk about, text and binary. When we talk about text files, it is basically a file which is in human readable characters. It can be opened in any text editor, the .txt file extension basically that you use. So any file format which is in human readable format, that is a text file. And text file, there is an end of file character that we use, end of line character that we use to differentiate from the other file types. Also, we have binary files which are made up of non-human readable characters and symbols, which are basically directly accessed, directly readable by machines, right? As you all know, computers, they understand only one language, which is binary language. So binary files are in that format, which requires specific programs to access its content. So we can't understand what is written in binary file. However, a machine can understand that, right? There are many other files that we can create or use in Python, including one is CSV, comma separated files. So these are basically flat files, basically used to store tabular form of data. For example, data that you keep in spreadsheets or in databases. So that type of data, when we deal with, we use CSV files, right? Now, whenever you work with files, there are basically these three steps. First, you open a file, then you perform the operation. It can be any reading or writing the content. So you can read a file which is already which is having data already present in that, and you also can write data into that. So these kind of operations you can perform. However, once you are done with the operation or whatever you want to do with the file, you must close it, right? So open the file, perform the operations, and then close the file. These are basic three steps that you need to remember, right? Now let's understand how we open the file, how we close the file. Of course, the reading and writing operations we'll understand. However, we'll understand these when I create specific videos about text files, binary files, and CSV files. In today's video, you'll only understand how to open the file and how to close the file. So first of all, let's understand how do we open files. So to open file, first method is, there are two different methods. So we are talking about the first method as of now. First method is using open function, right? So we use a function which is open function, and this is basically used to open the file and create a file object using which we can perform various file operations, whether it is reading the file, whether it is writing into the file. All those operations we can create only using the file handler or file object, which we create while opening the file. How? Let's look at the syntax. So file equals to, now this file is the file object. This is also known as file handler. So we create file object, then equal sign, then open function. Inside the open function, you write the file name, whatever type of file is that, whether text file. So with proper extension, this can be absolute path or relative path, depending upon you keeping the full directory path or not. So that name you will be writing here, file name. And then mode, and we are putting it in double quotes only. We will understand what kind of modes are there. However, as of now, you need to understand that mode can be reading mode, writing mode, or appending mode, right? So read, write, and append, these are three modes. How do we use them? That I'll explain in my upcoming slides. So you write file equals to open file name, comma, mode. So this is how you open the file. Always close the file once you are done with whatever you want to do in the file, whether it is reading or writing. Always close. And how do we close? We close using close method. So you write file handler dot close. So that is how you close the file. So this is the close function and this is open function. So both the functions are used. So this is one method of opening and closing the files. There is another method also that I'll explain using with function. But before that, let's see what are various modes in which a file can be opened. So there is read, write, and append. In all different types of files, the modes are used differently. Their shortcuts are different from each other, right? However, there are only three modes: read, write, and append. Okay. Now, first of all, let's understand what read mode is. So read mode, basically, it is used to open a file for reading. And if the file does not exist beforehand, then it will raise an error, file not found error. Okay. For in text files, it is RT, binary file, it is RB, and CSV file, the mode is R. Okay. So that is how read mode works. Now write mode. Write mode, it opens the file for writing. If the file already exists, it truncates the file to 0 length. So basically it deletes everything and then overwrites whatever you're trying to write. However, if the file does not exist, it will create an empty file and then it will write in that file. For text file, it is WT, binary file, it is WB, and CSV, it is W. Okay. Now append mode. Append mode basically opens a file for writing, but appends any new data to the end of the file. That's how it is different from the W mode or write mode. In write mode, everything is deleted. However, in append mode, whatever you're trying to write, any new data, it will be appended at the end of the existing data. And again, if file does not exist, it will create a new file. Okay, so text file, it is AT, binary file, it is AB, CSV file, it is A. That is how you use the modes. These are the codes basically. We also have read write mode. We also have write read mode. So in binary, as I said, it is B, and X is exclusive creation. So that is how. When you use both the modes, read and write, then there is plus sign which is used along with. So in text file, R plus, Write read, it is W plus. Similarly, binary file R plus B, W plus B, and in CSV it is R plus and W plus. So that is how these modes are used. Now, as I said, there are two different methods for opening and closing files. One is open function and close function. Other one is the with clause. So how do we use with clause and why do we use it basically? So the with clause or with statement in Python it simplifies everything. It automatically takes care of resource cleanup, that is closing the file after the code block is executed. You don't need to specifically use close method to close the file. However, automatically when you come out of the block, it will close that file and it will take care of all the exceptions or errors gracefully. So file is closed even if an exception occurs within the with block. Yeah. So that will surely improve code readability and will reduce the risk of resource leakage. Yeah. There is no explicit usage of file.close. I mean, you don't need to use the close function along with it to close a file. Syntax is you write with, then open, file name, comma, mode as file. So here file handler comes here. Okay. In open function, you write file handler equals to open in the bracket file name, comma, mode. But here you need to start with, then open function as file, and then there is a colon written to indicate that whatever comes next is part of this block. So it will create a block, indentation will start, and as soon as you want to come out of the with block, you will have to change the indentation, right? So as long as you stay inside the block, that file stays open. As soon as you come out of the with block, your file will automatically be closed. That is how it is different from open function, normal open function. I mean, of course you have to use open function here, but with clause is used along with that, right? So these are the basic operations or modes in file handling. Now it is assessment time. There are only 5 questions for you. Kindly pause the video, look at the questions, try and answer. And of course, I'll display the answer key in the end where you can compare your answers. All right. Here is the answer key. I hope you got all the right answers. Thank you.